traveling with my kids. I love traveling with them. They're actually amazing travelers. Like I said, they have very specific wants and needs for food, but they will make do with whatever they have. Now, on our plane ride back to the States, the choices of food, not great. Delta, I love to fly you, but your selections of food were not that great. I'm used to getting the John and Vinny's on the New York to LA flight. This just was lacking. So I was asleep because I was sick. I got a stomach bug right at the end. My son gave it to me.
Are you okay?
And I was asleep. What?
Are you crying about that, Paul?
I was about to cry. Okay? I was about to cry about it. No, I was asleep. And they had kind of served us both food. My son is so capable of just doing whatever he wants to do. And again, we're on a plane. He's not going anywhere. And I wake up and I look over at him. And I'm like, oh, he hasn't eaten anything. But yet he looks like he's eating. And I see what he's been doing, which is putting his finger in the butter, just taking and just eating butter. And I'm like, Twanch, you're eating butter. Like he thought, oh, maybe it's like ice cream. He's like, I know. I'm like, you know? He's like, it's delicious. And my son is eating butter by the fingerful. And at a certain point, I didn't know what I couldn't stop him. I was like, you know what? There's nothing else on that thing for you to eat. You're just gonna eat butter. I don't know if that's bad, but I let him do it.
Listen, he's got to eat something, and if it's butter, then fine.
And you're right. It's foreign butter. It wasn't like he was having Land O'Lakes. No offense to Land O'Lakes, but it was foreign butter, and foreign butter does hit different. I agree with that.
I mean, I do that with peanut butter, just a big spoonful of peanut butter.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the best. Yeah. That's the best treat of all time. I mean, that's the other thing too is sugar packets. Somebody's talking about sugar packets. I did that as a kid. Fozzie Bear in the Great Muppet Caper took a bunch of sugar packets and poured them into a glass of water and stirred them up for like his own soda. I did that. It was great. Right? I mean, it didn't melt. You'd have to really do it with Splenda, I think, to really get the real flavor of it.
No, Splenda doesn't melt. Sugar melts.
No, it doesn't, Molly.
Yes,
you got to use Splenda in iced coffee. You can't, because if you put regular sugar in an iced drink, it's not. You'll see it right on the bottom. Who's with me on this?
No, I think it's because you're putting it in a cold coffee. Where am I from?
Where did you get from? Yeah, cold coffee.
Well, I do have to tell you, I got a weird text message this week, and I thought it was spam. And it said like, oh, we found this recording of J. Frank Sullivan and Helen Sullivan. And I'm like, what? Like, you got to download this app. This is your order number, whatever. And I'm like, what the hell? I text my brother and he goes, oh, yeah, that's Uncle Bob. And they found recordings of my great grandparents because they ran a radio school, and the accents are amazing. Like, it's so good.
I need to hear this. I love that. Listen. By the way, Molly, you are wrong. It says sugar only melts in heat, which is why there's a delightful sandbar of sugar at the bottom of a cereal bowl.
No. So then I am right.
No, I'm saying that sugar only melts in heat. You can't put it. You put sugar in coffee and it will melt. You can't put sugar in ice. Yeah, hot coffee. No. Yes.
But I don't think the Splenda will melt in cold coffee.
Yes, believe me, I've tried. This is what I hate Splenda, but when I want it sweetened up, that's why now I've switched to simple syrups.
That's clever.
Yes.
Okay, I do have a little. If you want to hear this, it is not seasonally appropriate, but it is fun.
All right.
Can you hear that? That's let me skip ahead. That's not anyone I know.
This is amazing. I'm feeling I'm like listening to like Singing in the Rain. Like they got a great voice.
I'm like, Paul, I was listening to this and like crying. These are people I've never met before, but like just like they're in radio. I just felt so connected to them. It's Christmas themed. Okay, let's hear my great grandparents. Oh, the recording's kind of poor.
Oh yeah.
Has started mentioning names of good little girls.
Okay, try and guess where they're from.
Why, I'm going to add another
That's my great
New
grandfather.
Hampshire?
Marguerite.
That's my
Mother
grandma.
says
He's talking about my
best of
grandma.
all. Recordings 5 and 6 are also aired. One during the news flashes,
Not New Hampshire.
and the other spot I have
Close.
is at the end of the commentator on the sports review program.
Boston.
No.
Well, Pat, I guess this ends another Thanksgiving Day. It's time for us to be going home.
Maine.
So,
He's my great grandmother.
I'm going to tell you I love you a lot. And say goodnight now. And let Mother
I love this.
Somebody's
words.
guessing.
Rhode Island.
Notice we still
Providence.
have about
That's it. Okay, that's what I meant when I said New Hampshire.
on the record.
Yeah. Same.
So here's Mother, and good night, sweetheart. I love you.
I love you too, darling. This is my last
Oh.
opportunity to say to you, good night, little love. Pleasant dreams.
I love this. And by the way, we just made history, Molly, as America's #1 publicly broadcast Zoom call. We like, there it is. This is like we've played.
It's about 20.
Okay, so I went down this deep rabbit hole because
Yeah.
I knew that they ran like this radio school in Providence.
Okay.
This is from 1940.
Were they
And
on
then-
the radio, or they just ran a school for radio?
They were on the radio. So there was
Okay.
they ran the school, and then they also had like local news and such.
Yeah.
So Daisy Barksdale says that they want to hear Howard Stern's parents' tapes.
Well,
again.
those are always great. Shut up.
Well,
sit down. Yeah.
And I played this for my boyfriend. He said, "Oh, you got to play for Paul because it reminded him of Howard Stern's parents."
I mean,
call."
that's exactly it. Yeah.
I just was so like it really. I don't know. I did meet my great grandmother, the one who speaks at the end.
Right.
She
She's
lived
got
to
a great
like,
voice.
isn't that phenomenal? She lived
Yeah.
to like 106 or something like that.
Whoa.
Just so sweet. I mean, there's some other like really fun Santa Claus stuff. So when Christmas comes around, I'll play that for you then. Too.
I love this. I love getting a little look into your family history.
Listen,
That is amazing. Wait, there was something I was going to say. You were talking about what was it now?
coffee,
Coffee.
sugar.
We got a lot of coffee, sugar. Oh, so I bought myself an espresso machine. And I was so excited. And Molly, I tell you, I've tried this now multiple times. What's coming out of it tastes nothing like. And I'm supposed to pronounce it differently, right? It's like
it's espresso.
Espresso.
Espresso. Yeah, you got it.
It tastes nothing like espresso.
Huh.
And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And
Are
I
you-
need to figure it out. I am completely.
Are you
I'm
tamping
grinding-
it down?
I'm grinding beans. I'm tamping it down. I made it. June's like, that tastes nothing like espresso.
Listen, I mean, controversial. I don't think espresso tastes good at all. Anyhow.
Well, you know what I do.
What?
I mean, this is my drink of choice. It's going to gross you out, but I had it in San Francisco, and it's changed my life.
Butter.
Butter. Yeah, you take a glass, you put some ice in it, you fill that glass up with tonic water. Then you take a little shot of a espresso, you pour it over the tonic water. It comes into the tonic water, and then you give it a splash of OJ. Whoa, that's a drink.
Whoa. I don't mean to make this all about me, but when the war happened, or World War II, because my grandparents had this like radio school, they had property that was and they had like all these connections. And there's a popular drink, I think it's a state drink of Rhode Island, coffee cabinet, which is like coffee syrup that you just put in milk or ice cream or whatever. And so the recipe, they didn't want to be lost in case there were like bombings and such. So there were 2 copies of the recipe, one of which was in a coffee can buried in my grandparents' yard, just in case. Just in case. Oh, so good. What was the name of the radio school? I believe it was Rhode Island Radio School, RIRS. And there was a really poor review of it in some other paper.
Please pull that review. I want to get into that. I want to figure out what is going on there. Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that. Oh my gosh. I love these like things. I remember when I was cleaning up my grandfather's desk. Like, I love to see what they keep. And the one thing I still have from my great grandfather is a nudie pen. So it's like a regular pen, and you turn it upside down, and the girl like loses her dress. And I love that stayed in the desk for such a long time. All right, I'm going to find out some ways to make espresso. I hear it's about the water. I hear it's about the beans. We're going to have to